I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. John, roll.
Bram Kassoon. Here. Tobin. Here. Kleiner.
Here.
Johnson.
Here.
John Francois.
Here.
Burr.
Here.
Green.
Yep.
Massey.
Here.
President Rodriguez is absent. We have a quorum.
All right, we have approval of minutes.
Tonight, we have 2 minutes to approve. It's for the July 3rd Common Council meeting and the July 17th Common Council meeting.
Motion. Motion by Alderwoman Ram Kinsoon, second by Alderman June Francois. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Correspondence.
There's nothing this evening.
For the good of the city, anyone that wants to come up and speak, please do so. Kind of limit it to no more than 4 minutes if you can. We'd appreciate that. Please come forward, state your name so we have it. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Alfredo. I'm a resident of Goshen, but I'm working with the community in Middletown. And I'm just here because, since 2 years ago, when we started the conversation with Mayor Stefano about the need of an identification for the community, it was very exciting to see that he was willing to work with us and protect the immigrant community, especially now in this day, the way that it is, like we are being really attacked from everywhere. And when we have the meeting where we have all the people of the community, I was very happy that they were started to get engaged and try to be part of the community. It just make me feel more happy because now I see that they are feeling part of Middletown. They're not afraid to be here. They're not afraid to speak. They're not afraid to approach these places where they always, put in your mind that you cannot go in there because you have no proof of ID. And when they hear about that you guys were working on that, everybody was so excited. And the impact that made in Middletown is just unbelievable. People are more, they feel more part of this, and not just in Middletown. Poughkeepsie, Warwick, Kingston, immigrants are starting to see, like Middletown did it. Why cannot we work on that? And you guys did that, because by passing it here or by saying, okay, we're gonna work on that, they all have the hope that they can do it in other cities, and they're gonna feel protected. And that makes me happy that Middletown did it. And now, I'm just hoping, like I say, Poughkeepsie did it, and I'm happy that they did it, but I would have been happier that since you guys started it, it would have been a lot better to, Middletown be the first town to do it in the Hudson Valley, but not every city is the same. So I'm just very excited to see that you guys are willing to work with us, and my community is here all the time. You see it more often. It didn't happen before. When I started to come here, it was only like me and other people. Now they start to come out and be here and be part of these meetings. So that says something, And I'm willing to work with you guys, and the community is willing to work with you. So if there's anything that we can do to do this go faster, we are there for you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
How you doing? My name is Corey White, Sr. I just want to say thank you to the Middletown community because they just solved the murder of my son after a year, and it was countless. Stayed in touch. It was it just opened up my eyes to a lot. I don't care what anyone says about police. I'm from Middletown, born and raised, and I've watched the progress, and I've known a lot of police officers. I have a lot of friends in police officers, but the nonstop effort, I had doubts. And I love the fact that Middletown takes back their city. And because people want to come and act like gangsters, they're not gangsters, but they want to come and try to prohibit this, and Middletown's not having it. So as soon as they do that, I find out about it. I let people know because what has been going on in the past years, it's been outstanding. My son was involved in the gang as well, hanging out with the wrong people, but a great kid. But once he left the house, and the older kids took him under their wings. And that's what the older kids are doing now. They're taking these young kids and they're introducing them to the streets, flashing money in their face. And that's not the way they were raised. And I like that we're putting an end to that and let them know you could do that other stuff other places, but don't come to Middletown with that. And I'm big on drug I work with the drug, I'm 9 years clean. I have my little spent, but I do a lot with the rehabs, and I do a lot with the jails, Orange County jails and Dutchess County jails, and I'm big on drug addiction. And now the opiate thing has been taken off. The doctors, I call them the new drug dealers. It's starting with the Percocets, Oxycontins, and then they're too expensive, they're going to heroin. So I'm trying to get with a couple friends of mine, we're trying to get together, catch the kids while they're young, and we do a lot with the community. So I tell a lot of parents that reach out, and you can find me on social network, and I try to talk to the kids. A lot of kids don't want to speak to their parents. They'd rather talk to someone else. But I'm available, and I don't ever do anything by myself. I have a crew of people that work with me, but to spread the message. It's really bad right now with the opiate addiction. And if we help one person, we did our job. But if anyone wants to reach out, if you know anyone who needs help, I work with a couple other gentlemen. We can get them in, try to get them to Bonson Court, try to get them into rehabs. We're available to help out this community. We want to take back our community, and we want to keep it going well. And I'm real proud of the Middletown Police Department because, they did an outstanding job. They put it together. I was like doubting it at first. I said, why are they doing this? Because I wanted to take the law into my own hand. I suffer with PTSD because I'm a Marine. And I was like, why ain't they doing anything? Because I was about to go and take the law into my own hands with these gangs because these little punks that I call them. But I just sat back after talking to the chief. He called me several times, and Detective Escavano, I can't even pronounce his name, but I call him Detective S. But anyway, they took care of everything, and they just said, be patient. We can't tell you everything. Just be patient. Let us do our job. And I sat back, had faith, and they proved themselves right. And I just wanted to say thank you, and thank you to everybody that's part of the organization, a part of the community, and I'm real proud of this community. Thank you.
Mr. White, we are sorry for your loss, and thank you very much for the kind words. Anyone else, please? Chief, come on up. No, the other chief. I'm sorry.
Good evening, Merritt Winter, Lake Avenue. As you know, this is mostly for Channel 20, by the way. I'm a past chief of the Middletown Fire Department and very involved in the recruiting at the moment. As some of the people on Channel 20 might not realize, we are a combination fire department, which means we have paid drivers. Our chiefs, our company officers, and our volunteers are just that. They're all volunteers. So we have about 90 people that are at least occasionally responding to the calls. We get about 1,000 calls a year. It varies a little bit, but not much. Friends and family, yourself on Channel 20, your friends, your family, minimum age is 16 and 17 for junior firefighter program, and then you're fully trained up and can be an interior qualified firefighter at 18. This has been going on since 1859, so if you know a volunteer, ask them why they volunteer and why they continue, because you basically can't drive us out. We love it. What's involved is training for focus on safety and effectiveness. You can be as untrained as a social member, or you can be trained all the way up to an interior attack firefighter, depending on the training. It's focused on safety and effectiveness. There are monthly meetings and monthly training drills. You'll learn new skills, you'll meet a lot of good people, and the economy of volunteers is very important because, you've seen the problems Newburger's having with their being forced to lay off several of their firefighters. The savings to taxpayers for Middletown, because of our combination department, by the way, I think that's the best of both worlds. You get the speed of response of your paid people, you get the enthusiasm and effectiveness of your volunteers. So it's just a good thing. Anyway, that's about what I have to say. Please volunteer for the fire department. Thank you.
Thanks, Chief. Anyone else?
Good evening, Council. My name is Dave Madden, and this is Ed O'Connell, and we are representing the Run For downtown. which was this past Saturday. We had a record number of participants. We had 624 runners and walkers show up for this year's 13th annual Run For downtown. We had probably another 750 people downtown for the post-race celebration. And we're just here to give you all a big thank you. And every aspect of our community was a part of this, and it was beautiful. So thank you to Mayor DeStefano and your office. Thank you to the bid. Thank you to community development. Thank you to the council. Thank you to the police department, especially the community policing officers. Thank you to the fire department, including all the fire police who were out there closing the roads for us. DPW made sure that that course was spotless, along with Parks and Rec. Thank you both of those. Our sponsors, we had over 60 different corporate sponsors, so thank you to all of our sponsors. Community organizations ran all of our water stations and did all of our volunteering. Thank you to all of them. Our residents who put up with a little bit of traffic hassle in the morning and came out and cheered on the runners and walkers. Thank you to them. And then the big thank you to the runners and walkers and participants in this year's race. Next year, August 17th, 2019. Thank you.
If it wasn't for the community, it wouldn't be the event that it is, and I think it's been embraced for the last 13 years, and you can see the results, the positive results. Again, we're bringing light to Middletown, but the light's here, so thank you.
Thank you, guys. Anyone else? Remarks of department heads. Yeah, we could, Clay. Yeah, why don't we? Economic development.
Nothing this evening, Alderman Massey. Do you have any questions?
I guess that's lunch, huh? Any questions for Maria? Thank you. All right, I don't see the fire chief. Police chief, please.
Good evening. Just a couple quick things. First, this evening you're going to be voting on a resolution to allow the mayor to sign a contract with to purchase solar speed signs. We see the positive effects of our portable speed sign as well as the stationary ones. This would be a great addition to them to help us with some enforcement and some recognition. One of the things that I do like about this and the research that I've done is that these speed signs will collect data, as does our portable radar or speed trailer. So it'll help us better enforce the issues in those areas. Secondly, and this is a very important topic, Corey White Sr. is here tonight. You heard somewhat of his story and his appreciation. But I have great appreciation for you and your family for giving us the support and trust to allow us to do what we have to do. Yesterday ended a 1-year investigation into the murder of Corey White Jr. It was a collaboration of efforts amongst many law enforcement agencies and a lot of hard work and dedication from the Middletown Police Department staff. It's a sense of relief to know that we have brought it to a conclusion. There's still a long way to go with the prosecution, but it's been a very good investigation that we've dug deep into the roots of 2 violent street gangs that were constantly going back and forth at each other. So I could stand here before you today and say that Middletown is a better place as a result of this investigation. And Corey hit on a very, very important topic of the outreach. We've been doing a lot of outreach over the last year or so to try to address and connect with the young community. And as Corey said, it's that portion of our community that is looking for some guidance in their lives, and we're hoping to get them before the gangs get onto them. We don't have a tremendous gang problem here in Middletown. I don't want you to believe that at all. It is a very safe community. But the more outreach we could do as a community, I think the better off the community will be as a whole. So thank you for acknowledging that, and we appreciate your efforts. Other than that, any questions?
Any questions? Thank you, Chief. Corporation Counsel?
Nothing this evening, Mr. Acting President.
Acting? That's all I do in life is act. Any questions for Corporation Counsel? City Clerk?
I have nothing this evening.
Public hearings and grievances.
Tonight, we have a public hearing for a 2-lot subdivision for 2 to 8 South Street, 10 South Street for the City of Middletown, Section 35, Block 5, Lot 30, and 31.1.
All right, public hearing is now open. Anyone from the public like to address this?
Have to read the notice.
Oh.
Notice is hereby given that the City of Middletown will hold a public hearing on Tuesday, August 21st, 2018, on or as near as 8 p.m. as possible, Common Council Chambers, second floor, 16 James Street, to hear any and all persons wishing to be heard on the proposed two-lot subdivision for 2 to 8 South Street and 10 South Street for the City of Middletown, Section 35, Block 5, Lot 30 and 31.1. Any and all persons wishing to be heard will be given the opportunity to speak either for or against the proposed two-lot subdivision. A full copy of the two-lot subdivision plans are available in the City Clerk's Office, Room 12 at City Hall, 16 James Street, Middletown, New York. And this is by the order of the Common Council. And it was published in the Times Herald Record on August 13th and August 14th, and also on the city website.
Now my turn? Yes, sir. All right, public hearing is now open. Anyone from the public like to speak? Alex, anything from you?
No, I think everybody is aware of the purpose of this. It's the ultimate sale to part of this property. We're subdividing it ourselves, and ultimately we plan on selling it. The next step will be a planning board hearing, and that's coming up probably the first week in September. And after that, we expect to finally go to contract and have a closing.
Any questions for Alex? Go on, Jerry.
Just so people know, this is the former TD Bank building?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Alex.
Okay.
Anyone from the council? All right, we'll close the public hearing. Petitions and complaints?
Nothing this evening.
Remarks from the best mayor in Orange County.
I noticed
Hudson
that
Valley.
the Economic Development Director referred to you as Alderman Massey,
I noticed.
and I'm sure you did notice, whereas Mr. Smith referred to you as acting president, and then you screwed up.
And what are you gonna,
So you're back to Alderman. Let me begin with thanking Dave Madden and Anna and all the volunteers who put together the Run for Downtown for the 13th consecutive year. It was not only the largest runner-walker turnout, but the largest participation turnout, I believe, from the numbers that we put together that day. And once again, Andrew and I ran the course at 6 a.m., and
Record-breaking.
we did 28 minutes, I think it was. It was
what was the vehicle?
it was I said ran. Tom was driving the electric vehicle. But the point being is this thing is really growing, and we owe a lot of gratitude to the folks at Something Sweet and the Runners Club and all the people who put it together, because it's going to continue to grow. And as our new downtown hopefully will be ready by next year, the facade program, the bids are coming in on Thursday for hopefully 8 of the properties. The Woolworths building is coming close to fruition. The design for all of the back lots and are in place. The preliminary one, the sidewalk programs have been identified. So we're really moving on the downtown revitalization money, the $10 million that was awarded to us through Governor Cuomo. And we're also moving on the other traffic monies that we're paying for the sidewalks, the Schumer money around Thrall Park all the way down to O&W, Wickham Avenue, new lighting. So you're going to see a new city, a new community, a new downtown. And hopefully we'll have more events that will feature our downtown area. So the one unsung hero, and she doesn't like to get accolades, Maria Bruni, John Degnan, the bid district, they did a tremendous job in coordinating and putting in the time also. So thank you to all of you, and we look forward to working with you on next year's program. This afternoon at 2 o'clock, we did hold a press conference here at City Hall. And I wanted to publicly thank all of the police agencies, the FBI, the ATF, the district attorney, the sheriff, and New York State Police for their assistance. But most of all, you guys know it, and I'm sure the community knows it, the excellent job that the Middletown Police Department, and I'm going to say the name for Corey, is Detective Slanovic. It's like saying DiStefano. Some people just call me D or something, but from my understanding is that he was the lead detective on the case, worked tirelessly on it, was committed to solving this problem and this murder, and hopefully they did. As I said this afternoon, it's a time now for the community to heal, Hopefully, it's the beginning of closure for the family, and just the beginning, because, they're people actually are, they're presumed innocent, but we feel that the police put together a very strong case and that we have the right people. But that'll be for a court to determine. But the White family deserves a lot of credit for their patience, and we, there was a lot of public support. You saw that during the march last year, and but it's a tribute to the community also, that the community stood up for you and your family, and for justice. And now we're going to go through a process, and your family is going to go through a process here, a very public process, and we wish you the best as you go through that. But to let you know that our community is here with you and stand with you in getting justice for your son, Corey White Jr. So the other comments that I have are regarding some issues that can be put off when Jacob is here. As you know, we're very surprised, but Jacob Tawil took a vacation, and he just came back today. So I think it's very unusual for Jacob to take a vacation. So Jerry had asked about a few things, but just the Heritage Trail, it is resolved. It's moving forward. We're going to sign as soon as the county puts it in place. They're preparing the bid documents. Everything continues to move ahead, and the trail is going to happen. I know there's some naysayers and some angry people, but don't be angry. This is 25 years in the waiting. We are there. It's going to happen. And if it doesn't happen very soon, Joe Massey will resign his position as alderman in the first ward in the city of Middletown.
And run for mayor.
Yeah. You seem to forget that you ran against me twice and I beat you twice. But that's neither here nor there. But barely. I want to remind everybody.
Barely.
But the point being is that we have so much activity going on that it's very difficult to keep up with. The reservoir project, you saw the headline in the Record on Sunday. The feedback on that project alone is tremendous. And you have I believe you approved the contract, or is it on for tonight maybe, we'll be bringing Carter Strickland in to negotiate the final parts of it. I spoke with Chief Iwanchu today about the security component, that we're bringing in a trail security expert to work in conjunction with the Middletown Police Department to make sure we identify every little detail, because we want to do it right. And so anyone who has toured it, I think, knows the beauty of this property. And unfortunately, not a lot of people that live here have had the opportunity to tour the property. And you'll be shocked. We drove in the car with Lana Bellamy from the Times Hill Record. And when we left the trail at the reservoir, I told her it would be less than 5 minutes to downtown to City Hall, and it certainly was less than a 5-minute drive by car. So that community asset of 1,200 plus acres, lakes, woods, trails, is just sitting 5 minutes away from here, and hopefully next year we're all going to be able to have the opportunity to enjoy it. Any questions?
Mayor, I read that we got money for the state hospital to remove all the...
Yeah, Tom, that's sometimes the state does things a little different. That's the same 500. We were hoping it was an additional 500,000. Yeah. For some reason, it was officially awarded, where last year it was unofficially awarded. But Barton and Lowe Judas is the engineers. They've prepared the documents. We have applied for more money, but it wasn't an additional $500,000. We were excited for about 5 minutes until we got the word that it wasn't an additional $500,000.
Any other questions for the mayor? Jerry.
Mayor, since Jacob isn't here, we have two resolutions that have to do with the roundabout. Rather than waiting until they come up, would you just explain that we're not spending an additional $400,000 or an additional $1 million on it?
Actually, we appropriated, I think, just a few $100,000 originally, hoping for reimbursements. The total project cost, I think, went up to $1.8 million. We appropriated $600,000 originally. So we need to have a mechanism to pay, and it's reimbursable.
Yeah.
So
that's the key.
I think Jacob he had much more success on the grant side, where it's my understanding that 95% of that will now be funded between federal and state monies. But we have to put the money up front, and it's coming back.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for the mayor? Thank you, Mr.
Thank you.
Remarks of Aldermen, reports of committees. Alderman Tobin.
I just echo the comments of the mayor. I'd like to publicly thank the Madden family and the Runners Club and the bid for the outstanding job they did. And I can't imagine what it's like to lose a child, and I hope the White family gets some justice and deserves some closure. I'm happy to hear that you're turning your energy towards helping our community, so that's really positive.
Alderman Green.
Thank you. Yeah, my condolences again, Mr. White, to you and your family. And, I think a theme we've learned is good things take time. But, thank you for holding out, your hope, and it definitely came out on the right side of things. So thank you for that and for putting all your efforts, like Alderman Tobin said, into helping others. So that's a really great thing. Also, with the run for downtown, like the mayor said, we did a great job in the morning. Streets were awesome. Thank you, DPW. But in all truth, it was an amazing event. I look forward to it. It was my second year being down there for it, and the size difference was astounding. It was like markedly bigger this year, and can only imagine what it's going to be like in the years to come. So. Next year, I'll definitely be walking it. I did just get back from a vacation this year, so next year I'll walk it. The year after that, we'll see a fewer calories, and maybe I'll do a little faster pace. But thank you.
Alderman Johnson.
Thank you. Congrats to Madden and Company. 13 is your lucky number so far. We'll see how it goes. Congrats to the mayor on the Reservoir Project. It's your brainchild, and when it comes to fruition, it's going to be a beautiful thing. Mr. White, condolences as well. You did mention the opioid epidemic. There's a book that unfortunately I started reading called Dope Sick. I don't know if you're familiar with the book. And it really chronicles the fact that in the early 90s, the drug company took a drug that was targeted for cancer patients and said, give it to people with a sprained ankle, and give it to people that hurt their finger, and give it to people that did all these things. And they marketed it in a very unscrupulous way. And what do we have today? We have a class action lawsuit from the government of the state of New York against that drug company, because shame on you and shame on all the lives that you disrupted, basically for greed and nothing else. So I recommend the book, but I don't recommend reading the book. Thank you very much.
Alderwoman Ram-Kinsoon.
Good evening. I definitely would like to start by once again thanking the police department for always being just outstanding and above the normal efforts. And Mr. White, my condolences. You're a neighbor of ours here in the 3rd Ward, and I pass your memorial often on Walk Hill, and it breaks your heart. I am a mother of 4. I can't imagine the loss. So to know that justice will finally be served after a long wait, thank you for your patience. Reverting back to the police department, as everyone knows, Night Out Against Crime was a washout. We really tried to dance with the weather that day, and our forecast looked shiny in the morning, and we got to that field, and it all turned on us pretty sour. So my thanks to everyone who hustled around to get the fields clear, and everyone who came and had to turn around and pack back up. I am sorry. After discussions, it was determined that with staffing, budgeting, and scheduling, we will be unable to reschedule Night Out 2018, so it will be Night Out 2019. We will be back bigger and better. I figure after 6 years, we were due for a little bad weather, and we'll manage. But I just wanted to let everyone know, so if you're looking for a new date, it's next summer. As for the run for downtown, I was unfortunately, with my schedule, unable to do it, so I do owe you a sub-40 run. I guess I have a year, which is great news for me. I'm going to need it. And I guess that's all I have for this evening. Next week, Tuesday, is the 3rd Ward constituent meeting. It will be on. It's at 7 p.m. right here in these chambers or next door, depending on what kind of a crowd we can draw. So that's all I have. Thank you. Good night.
Alderman Kleiner.
Thank you, Acting Chairman Massey. We had a communications committee meeting tonight and talked about Middletown IDs, and I thank Alfredo and excuse me, and Jonathan from No One Leaves Mid-Hudson. Jonathan spoke to us about, because he helped write the Poughkeepsie one, and I want to add that although Poughkeepsie has passed theirs, it is to take effect within 6 months. So they do not have a city ID yet, and we could still beat them. I don't think that's important, but we may get it done. Thank you very much for your help, and we'll be working hard on it. Run for Downtown, the feeling was so positive downtown, and that's what I took away from it. It just added to the good spirit, and I thank the Maddens, whose idea this was originally, and everyone and the sponsors who puts in so much hard work, but it is growing, and I only see it getting bigger and better, so thank you very much. With the reservoir trails, I also want to give a thank you to the vision of our ancestors who put that in by hand. I mean, they dug those reservoirs, and they had the good vision to protect those lands and to give us that system that is so valuable for Middletown. So it's our treasure, and that this is another great idea on how to make it useful, and it is a beautiful area. The Heritage Trail, we need it, and speaking of by hand, I believe that the railroad, when Erie Railroad was built originally, it got to Goshen in 1841, and then it got to Middletown in 1843. So in 2 years, they built that railroad by hand. I would think after 25 years, we could start to build a walking trail from Goshen to Middletown. So I understand it has to go back to the legislature because there's some additional easements and agreements, but hopefully that will get done and the intermunicipal agreement will get signed, and we'll be moving forward on that very quickly. I congratulate our police department, and we always tell people, be patient. Be patient. These things, if you see the police cars going down the street all the time, they're probably not investigating. And these things take time, and they take a lot of hard work. I thank Mr. White for coming tonight. He's been a terrific advocate for our community and a strong voice for our community, which is what we need. And it's just, and I thank all the agencies who came together and all the other police and all the assistants. But when you read what was going on and how this happened, and I'm so glad to hear him say, not in our town, this isn't going to happen here. So, Chief, congratulations and thank you very much. And we really appreciate it. Thank you.
Alderman Jean-Francois.
Yes, good evening. I'd like to take this moment to thank the chief and his staff for their due diligence on observation on where we are under cracking down the speeding issue that we had there. Job well done. And for Corey, you and I go way back, and as a parent, to lose a loved one is just mind-boggling, and thinking that you have to deal with that for almost a year, and the person that did that to your son is out there almost a year, and it's good things to see it come to a closure. So my prayers to you and your family. Thank you for coming.
Alderman Burr.
What can I say? Everybody said it all already. I agree with everything. But I also want to thank the chief and the staff for a pop-out barbecue in the first ward. Great success. The kids loved it. And even if they didn't win the tug of war, what can we say? Thank you.
Thank you. Unfinished business.
Nothing this evening.
New business.
Tonight we have a resolution sponsored by Alderman Burr, second by Alderman Johnson, to declare the month of September to be Ovarian Cancer Awareness Month, and grants permission for the volunteers to tie ribbons downtown on the City of Middletown ornamental light poles.
We have a resolution sponsored by Alderman Burr, second by Alderman Johnson. Any questions, comments? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
Jean-Francois.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Jean-Francois, second by Alderman Kleiner, to accept a donation from Star Paint and Body Works of $250 in support of Middletown Night Out and credit account T51.
We have a resolution sponsored by Alderman Jean-Francois and seconded by Alderman Kleiner. Comments? Questions? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Tobin, second by Alderman Burr, to authorize the treasurer to accept a donation from the Middletown Lions Club of $100 in support of Cops and Kids and credit account T89.
We have a resolution sponsored by Alderman Tobin, second by Alderman Burr. Any comments? Questions? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Burr, second by Alderman Green, to authorize the mayor to sign a contract with Evola Solar to purchase 2 solar-powered radar speed signs in the amount of $5,829.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Burr, second by Alderman Green. Any comments? Questions? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Kleiner, to temporary transfer $400,000 from the general fund balance for the construction of the roundabout.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson, second by Alderman Kleiner. Comments? Questions? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman John Francois, second by Alderman Green, to determine the replacement of the screw pumps at the wastewater treatment plant is a Type 2 action under SECRA.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Jean-Francois, seconded by Alderman Green. Comments? Questions? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Tobin, second by Alderman John Francois, that the two-lot subdivision for property located at 2 to 8 South Street constitutes a unlisted action pursuant to the State Environmental Quality Review Act as the SECRA regulations.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Tobin, second by Alderman Jean-Francois. Comments? Questions? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Burr, second by Alderman Green, to approve the two-lot subdivision for property located at 2 to 8 South Street.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Burr, seconded by Alderman Green. Comments? Questions? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
Resolution passes. Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson, seconded by Alderman Burr, authorizing the issuance of an additional $1,260,000 in bonds to pay part of the cost of the construction of the roundabout at the CR 10878 intersection.
Resolution sponsored by Alderman Johnson, seconded by Alderman Burr. Any comments? Questions? Roll.
Ram Kasoon.
Aye.
Tobin.
Aye.
Kleiner.
Aye.
Johnson.
Aye.
John Francois.
Aye.
Burr.
Aye.
Green.
Aye.
Massey.
Aye.
Resolution passes. That is all for new business.
Local laws.
Nothing this evening.
Audit of claims and accounts.
Mr. Chairman, AKA Your Highness, I move the accounts be audited, the claims be adjusted, and the city treasurer be authorized to issue warrants for their payment.
Stop.
Do we have a second to that?
I'll second.
Alderwoman Ramkin. Mr. Highness, too? Your Highness, too? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn?
So moved.
All right.